You might know her as Miss Rafferty. You might know her as Barbara Drew. You might know her as Kellyanne Conway. You might know her as Ellen. You might know her as Hillary Clinton. Regardless of how you know her, there's no denying that Kate McKinnon is a superstar. Born and raised in Long Island, Kate was one of the standout performers of SNL from 2012 to 2022. Whether she was making Ryan Gosling crack up, dragging Mitch McConnell down the sewers, or simply just being herself, Kate McKinnon never failed to put a smile on our faces. It's no surprise that she won not one, but 2 Emmys for her work on the show in 2016 and 17. You can say that SNL isn't as good as it used to be, but you can't say that Kate isn't just a freaking legend, icon, stunning, everything and more.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
So you can imagine me and the rest of the Kate McKinnon fandom's devastation when it was announced on the 21st of May last year that she would be leaving SNL forever. Okay, maybe not forever, but definitely for now. Regardless, it was still a tragedy for us stans. Even though, of course, we were very happy for her. It's now been over a year since Kate left SNL, and I don't know if it was because I had, sort of moved away from the Kate McKinnon fandom for a little while. I stopped posting on my fan page for 9 months, but I realised that Kate had kind of gone quiet. I mean, other than an appearance on Hillary Clinton's podcast, I hadn't really heard from her. And I'm not complaining, I totally understand wanting to take a little break after leaving a job that you've been at for 10 years. But it just felt unusual, not getting to see her on TV every week. Nowadays I only watch SNL when someone I like is hosting. Partly because of Kate leaving, but also because I was losing interest in it anyways. I wasn't finding it as funny as I used to. But around 2 weeks ago I went to see the Barbie movie, and it was my first time seeing Kate on the big screen. She played the role of Weird Barbie, and just, wow. Icon. Weird Barbie is my new favourite Kate film character, and Barbie is by far my favourite movie that Kate has been in. But seeing Barbie after being excited to see it for so long really made me think about Kate's film career. Because looking through her IMDb credits, I could see a pattern of her movies either not doing too well critically and commercially, even if I really enjoyed them, personally. I also noticed how her more recent movies have done better than the movies she did 6 years ago. So that's why today we're going to be looking at Kate McKinnon's film career, and wondering why her film career hasn't been as overall successful as her SNL career. Some of Kate's earliest work consisted of a few web series and shorts, such as Concierge, Vag Magazine, I Wanna Have Your Baby, I Expect You to Die, and Hudson Valley Ballers. But her earliest movies are the most rare, obscure movies you could think of, and I'm not even sure if she's actually in these movies, because the only videos I can find of these movies are 2-minute trailers on YouTube. You have to type a very specific term into the search bar to find, and even if you do find them, you won't have any luck because Kate is not in the trailers. So I assume that even if Kate is in these movies, she probably appears in one scene at the beginning where she has a chat with the main character and then disappears for the rest of the movie. These movies in question are My Best Day, Hannah Has a Hoe Phase, and Life Partners. Okay, so now I'm going to get into some real cinema that she's been a part of. In 2014, she starred in a movie which on IMDb is listed as Intramural, but the poster says it's called Balls Out. I'm just going to call it Intramural because I don't have to keep saying Balls Out. In Intramural, Kate plays the role of Vicky. I have not seen the movie, but from what I've seen on YouTube, she basically plays the main character's love interest who only exists so that the main character can have a love interest. Trying to find out about Intramural about 2 years ago, back when Kate McKinnon ruled my life, I only found 2 scenes of the movie that she's in on YouTube. One where she proposes to her boyfriend, and one where she dumps her boyfriend. I don't have any burning desires to watch this movie. If I ever come across it, I'll probably just skip to the parts that she's in, because her character does not need to exist. Like I said, she's only in the movie so that the main character can have a love interest, but he doesn't love her, so she's not really love interest. So yeah, this film's not my kind of film. Sports films are not really my thing, but if you did see this film, please feel free to tell me what you thought of it. Next up is Staten Island Summer, which I could not find any traces of her in at all on clips on YouTube. So yeah, she can't be that significant in the movie. Now we have a good movie. Well, I think it's a good movie. Sisters. This is actually a movie I watched because I actually wanted to watch it for reasons other than because Kate McKinnon's in it. It also has Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, Maya Rudolph, Diane Wiest, John Cena, Bobby Moynihan, Rachel Dratch. It's essentially just an SNL reunion. I really recommend this movie if you're a fan of SNL humour, or humour that's raunchy, but not too raunchy, but just raunchy enough that you feel comfortable watching it with your parents. But Kate's once again hardly in the movie. Her character only exists so that she can attend the party that the two main characters are throwing. She actually has more screen time in the deleted scene than she does in the actual movie, but I don't really care because the movie's just fun. It's a fun movie. Before I move on, I do want to quickly mention that she was in Toy Story of Terror. She played the Pez Cat. 2016 was the year of Kate McKinnon movies. First there was Masterminds, another movie where her character served no purpose except to be the main character's love interest. And the movie itself is actually pretty funny. But I swear the people who were making the movie forgot that Kate McKinnon was in the movie. She plays the fiancée of Zach Galifianakis' character. There's a scene where they have engagement photos. There's a scene where she tries on a wedding dress. There's a scene where she finds out what her mastermind fiancé is doing, and she's clearly upset by it. So you'd think there would be a storyline where she has to try and find him, and then they get into a heated argument where they track him down, and then he'll end up dumping her for Kristen Wiig. But no. She's never seen in the movie again. She's never even mentioned in the movie again. Again, the movie is good, but it was kind of a rip-off because the Sky TV thing I watched it on said starring Kate McKinnon as if she was the main character. Then there was Angry Birds. She voiced Stella. The movie didn't do too well, but I liked it, but I just like Angry Birds. Then she was in Finding Dory. She was in that scene at the beginning of the movie with baby Dory. She voiced Wife Fish. Now this is the part of the video where I talk about Ghostbusters. I remember almost 4 years ago, I was at the farmhouse with my family, and we decided to watch something. We noticed that the 2016 Ghostbusters movie was on. We watched it. And it was fine. It had some funny moments. Chris Hemsworth was charming as usual. It was fine. And imagine my surprise when my dad tells me,
"That blonde lady is Kate McKinnon."
And I was like,
"Really? She's way prettier than I thought she'd be."
because at that point I only really knew her as Miss Rafferty. And imagine my surprise when I go onto IMDb and find people absolutely crapping on this movie. Okay, I wasn't that surprised. Now, I'm not going to be one of those people who says,
"If you don't like the Ghostbusters movie, you're sexist."
because watching the movie again now I'm a bit older, I can understand why some people wouldn't like the movie. However, I do think people overreacted just a little bit. The movie is not perfect. It's fine. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's fine. I'll happily watch it if it's on. I did notice a lot of the reviews were like,
"I didn't like the movie, but Kate McKinnon was fine."
and I appreciate that, because Holtzman is iconic. I mean, that scene. That scene. Finally, we have Office Christmas Party, another movie which I liked, but it didn't do as well at the box office. Like Sisters, this is a movie that I will watch intentionally for reasons other than because Kate McKinnon's in it. It does get a bit crazy towards the end, but it's still enjoyable to watch. Next we have Leap, which I don't want to talk about because the only version of this movie I've seen is called Ballerina, and it came out like 8 months before Leap did in America. And also Kate is not in the version I've seen. The version I've seen is good, but it is a little bit cliche. Then we have Ferdinand. She voiced Lupe the goat. And it's annoying because I first watched the movie not knowing who Kate was, and now I want to watch it again because I do know who she is, but I can't because I've never gotten around to trying to watch the movie again if or when it ever comes available to me again. This was probably at the time the most successful movie in which Kate played a prominent role. Next we have Rough Night. Kate plays the role of Pippa, the Australian friend of the main character Jess, played by Scarlett Johansson. Yes, you heard that correctly.
I think the gas and the brake are different in Australia, so I got confused.
How are you alive right now?
I don't know, but I'll take it.
There was no reason for Pippa to be Australian. The only excuse I can think of for Pippa being Australian is that Kate wanted to do an Australian accent. I don't think Kate's Australian accent is that bad, but I'm not Australian, so I'm not going to comment any further on that. I feel like her accents are fine in sketches, but I don't think anyone would watch this movie not knowing who Kate McKinnon is and actually believe that she was Australian in real life. I actually did enjoy the movie, but it's definitely not for everyone. Then we have Family and Irreplaceable You, 2 more movies that Kate is hardly in and that no one except me watched. Family was decent. Irreplaceable You... I will say that her character, Glass Half Full Kate, is really endearing. She's always trying to stay positive through whatever life throws at her. Then we have Spy Who Dumped Me. This is probably the most main character she's ever been in the movie, with her role as Morgan Freeman. Yes, that is actually her name. Again, I like the movie, but it didn't do too well critically, even though there are some moments that are really funny to me, such as, do you want to die having never been to Europe, or do you want to go to Europe and die having been to Europe? This could have been her moment to shine as a movie star, but the general audience just didn't like this movie. And this makes you wonder, how come someone who is just so naturally charming and funny never seemed to be in a well-received movie? Well, 2019 was when things started to turn around for Kate McKinnon's film career, starting with Yesterday. The movie Yesterday has a very interesting plotline, which really put me off at first as a massive Beatles fan, but the movie was actually really good. Kate played the role of Deborah, Ed Sheeran's manager, and she's kind of seen as the villain of the movie. And the movie was well received, the plot was well handled, the writing was good, and Kate's character actually had a purpose. But the thing I'll notice with most of the movies I've discussed is that they are comedies or they have comedic moments. There's always going to be some critical division when it comes to comedy movies because comedy is subjective. Some people will like a piece of media because they find it funny, while others will not like it because they don't find it funny. But for Kate stands everywhere in 2019, a bombshell dropped that Kate would be starring in a movie that was not a comedy. Bombshell. The movie came out in late 2019 and was based on the true story of the toxic work atmosphere Roger Ailes made at Fox News. Kate played the fictional character of Jess Carr, a closeted lesbian working at Fox. Throughout the film, Jess gets quite close with Kayla, played by Margot Robbie. There's one scene in the movie that is just so heartbreaking to watch, and we feel that emotion because of Kate and Margot's acting. Margot Robbie is also a superstar, and she was nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. I low-key shipped Kayla and Jess. What? Neither of them are real. I'm allowed to ship them. Then we had The Bubble. Then we had DC League of Superpets, which came out earlier this year. I have not seen it yet, but I'll get around to it. And that brings us to July 21st, 2023, the day Barbie is officially released. I'll be honest, when I first heard that Kate McKinnon was going to be in a Barbie movie at the beginning of last year, my first thought was,
I thought she's only going to be in good movies from now on. This is going to be rubbish.
and I was prepared to eat my words when I found out that Margot Robbie was playing Barbie and Ryan Gosling was playing Ken. Director Greta Gerwig thought Gosling would be the perfect person to play Ken after seeing him on SNL. Was it the Close Encounter sketch? Maybe. Maybe not. And the entire cast was star-studded. I mean, there was Issa Rae, Dua Lipa, Simu Liu, Kingsley, Michael Cera, America Ferrera, Ariana Greenblatt, Helen Mirren, Will Ferrell, and so many more. I mean, let's be honest, we all made our own Barbie posters when the second trailer came out. And Weird Barbie was one of the most important characters. She's a little bit of Holtzman mixed with a dash of Morgan, but in her own unique way. Barbie is definitely the best movie that Kate's ever been in my opinion, and Weird Barbie is the best character she's ever played. After struggling in the film industry for such a long time, just waiting for that breakout role, and I could not be happier. Her character had a purpose, was interesting to the viewer, and she had just enough screen time. Not too much and not too little. Of course you can never have too much Kate McKinnon, but you know what I mean. I'm going to wrap up now before this video just turns into me raving about Kate and Barbie. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's rather quick, but I wanted to jump on the Barbie train while it's still running. I hope you have a great day. Feel free to tell me who your favourite Kate character is, subscribe, follow me here, stay venomous, and I hope I'll see you next time. Also, Kate went to college with Greta Gerwig, I just needed you to know that for some reason.